Hello and thank you for joining us on the Pigskin Preview. Alongside head coach of the Western Illinois football team, Mark Hendrickson, I'm Andrew Bacon. Last weekend, the Leathernecks took on the Iowa State Cyclones. Coach, you guys played a very good FBS opponent in the Iowa State Cyclones and unfortunately were unable to come away with the victory. However, some positives could be taken away from the game.
Well, you're correct on several points there, Andrew. One, they are a very good football team. They're sitting at 3-0, and I would imagine they'll do very well in the Big 12 Conference, this fall. They have great size up front on both sides of the line, and they have excellent speed with all their skill players on both sides. We competed well. Great effort for 4 quarters. The players never let up at any time. Very proud of them for their effort.
All right, Coach. Well, let's go ahead and get into the highlights. And then here, Iowa State will start with the ball, and we'll see Steele Jans complete it to Chris Young for 3 yards, and we're going to have J.J. Raffleson and Jonathan Rollins on the tackle as we take a look at the replay.
J.J. Raffleson was our leading tackler, number 43 right there for our 3rd game in a row. Jonathan Rollins played another good football game at strong safety for us. He's been a consistent performer this year.
And then here, it's another pass to Young for 12 yards, and that's Kieran James on the tackle. And then here, it's James White, and he's going to get a gain of 6 yards, and that's McDaniels on the tackle. And then here, it's White again for 3, and it's Kintel and Bazinski.
And I believe we're going to see a 3rd down coming up here, and we're in good shape. We held them to the 3rd down, and each touchdown that we've given up this year has been scored by our opponents on a 3rd down. Against a team like this, it only takes one player, to be a little bit out of their position, and that's what happened there. And you leave them a gap, and they can hit it very quick with their team speed.
On the next Iowa State possession here, as we see, it's going to be Johnson who's going to get his first carry of the game. He's going to get 2 yards, and that's Kieran James on the tackle. And then here, it's Jans looking for West, and he's going to overthrow him a little bit here, throw it to the sidelines. And again, it's him throwing to West. This time, though, they're going to connect for a 13-yard gain. Another
big play, by Iowa State on 3rd down there. Defense had done very well on down 1 and 2, and in our defense started to settle down, and we're going to see later on they do for a fact. But we played them tough as they marched down the field here, and coming up with some good tackling there, some very hard hits. By our defense was delivered. Some very good tackles by our defense. Number 93, Dwight Harris chased a quarterback around all night in the backfield.
That's why then here we're going to see it. Garvey, who gets a great tackle on West.
Trey Garvey had a good game for us. He's been a great addition as a safety for us as well. We'll see pretty soon he came up with a fumble recovery.
That's right, Coach. And as you say that, here's Chance. He's going to try and find some running room and going to scramble it. However, Kevin Kintel forces a fumble.
Very good job by Kevin Kintel, number 17. Was recovered right there by Trey Garvey, number 20. Great job by the defense. They gained a turnover. On the night, our defense took the ball away from Iowa State 3 times. One on this forced fumble, and then recovery, and then 2 interceptions that we'll see later in the highlights. So great job by Kevin Kintel wrapping up the quarterback and causing the ball to go loose. And then Trey Garvey again with the big recovery.
And then we're going to go ahead and jump into the 2nd quarter with under 9 minutes to play, and it's going to be Josh Hudson connecting with Charles Chestnut for 23 yards. That's a 1st down.
They had a great punt that they downed on the 1-yard line, and we started off the series with a 23-yard completion on a fade right down the boundary. Great ball by Josh Hudson. It was a great catch, a toe tapper by Charles Chestnut on the sideline.
And then here, that was Nico Watson getting 3 yards. And again, Nico Watson getting another yard. And, Coach, once again, he would not lose a single yard in this game while rushing.
Nico was real power in this ball game. There's a great throw by Josh out to Charles Chestnut. That was 3rd down and long situation. We made the 1st down right here on this strike. Perfect throw. Great job by Charles to protect the ball with his body.
That's right, Coach. And here, it's going to be Nico Watson back to the run game, and he's going to get 4 yards.
Nico ran strong all day. And again, as the first 2 opponents found out, you get to the 4th quarter, it's hard to bring Nico down. Everybody starts to get a little bit tired. He's a big physical back. He had a good night, and the old line did a good job up front overall, led by Andrew Biscuit at center. in the group around him, of course, up front, and then Nate Bowman at fullback and Larry Harris at fullback. Both did a good job for Nico and Carlton Ray at the tailback spot.
That's right, as Nico Watson would finish with 76 yards at the end of the game. And at halftime, it was 21-0 to Iowa State. In the second half, we noticed that the Leathernecks settled down on defense, and we will talk about that when we come back. You're watching the Pigskin Preview.
Think you found every hazard out here today? Think again. The spot you missed could be a killer. That spot on your skin could be skin cancer. Fact is, if you're a man over 50, you're in a group most likely to develop skin cancer, including melanoma, the kind that kills one person every hour. 1 in 5 Americans is likely to develop a form of skin cancer during their lifetime. That's why your best shot is to check for a spot. It's easy. Follow through and check your skin. It could be the save of a lifetime. Go to spotskincancer.org to find out how. A message from the American Academy of Dermatology.
If you could see anything in the world, what would it be?
I'd love to see Paris.
I like to see cupcakes falling from the sky.
My daughter, married and happy.
Welcome back to the Pigskin Preview. Coach, in the second quarter, as we said earlier, the Leathernecks settled down and were able to make stops. At halftime, what did you say to the team?
Well, at halftime, we were down 21-0. After the first 2 quick scores by the Cyclones, the defense settled down and played very well the remainder of the half. They scored right before halftime. They give them the 21 points. And but there was many series out there. Our defense played very, very good. Unfortunately, offensively, we weren't consistent enough. We had some first downs. We had some very good completions. We had some good runs. But not enough consistency for play after play on the offensive side of the ball. That's what we talked about at halftime. Let's slow them up even more in offense. Let's get some touchdowns, and let's get back in the ball game.
All right, let's go ahead and get into the highlights and see what would happen. And as we see here, the Leathernecks would start with the ball in the third quarter. And Iowa State's going to have possession, though, as Leathernecks are going to come out, and this is Iowa State with the ball. And it will be Johnson on this next play. He's going to rush for 7 yards, and Coach Johnson was a good secondary back for Iowa State. Yeah,
he's a talented young man. Between he and the quarterback on the read play, they're tough to defend.
And then here we're going to see Jansen's going to complete it to Aaron Horn for a 22-yard touchdown, and now it's 28.
Yeah, perfect strike, right between a couple of our defenders there. Very, very close to making that play, literally just out of our reach.
And here we're going to see a great tackle by the Leathernecks. And on the next play, Jansen is going to throw the ball, but it's going to be incomplete to Jarvis West. And then a holding call is going to go ahead and back them up another 10 yards.
Yeah, we did a great job on the turnovers. We won the turnover battle 3-0. We also won the penalty battle big in this ball game, and we also won the time of possession. So we did a lot of good things, but again, not consistent enough down after down. And there's a great interception by David McDaniel at free safety for us on a tip pass. Did a good job with the return, and again, that's the second turnover of the night for the defense.
And as we see here, another replay, and McDaniel just an outstanding play of being in the right spot at the right time.
Yes, and there's a lot to that. You get coached all week, and yet on game night, you've got to be right in that right spot that where you've been coached to be all week, and David was in that situation.
Nico Watson here with a great pickup of 8 yards, as it's just over 4 to play, and then again it's back to Watson. It's another 5 yards, and that's a first down.
Real strong running by Nico. Good job up front again. Jeff Lindsay did a good job all night at tackle. At the other tackle, Jimmy Holschlag did an outstanding job.
And then here you see Justin Morgan making the catch, and we're going to take another look at the replay.
You'll see good protection. Josh had plenty of time to throw the ball. Perfect strike. Good catch by Justin Morgan for a big first down.
And then here it's Watson again. He's going to pick up 2 more yards, fighting for every yard.
Mason Howington, a tight end for us, is lined up in the backfield along with our fullbacks that I already mentioned. And overall, those guys did a great job of blocking as well up front for their running backs.
And then here it's Hudson, and he's going to pick up another 5 yards. You're really using his mobility.
Josh has very good feet, and you know, he can make plays when there's nothing there initially in the passing game. He can turn a play into a first down, and that makes a big difference.
And then Nico Watson with a huge run. That's 23 yards, and that's another first down. Coach getting the Leathernecks in the red zone.
Very good job up front again with the blocking, and a good job of Nico hitting that line of scrimmage full speed.
Another 2 yards here, and that's going to be the end of the third. And we're going to go ahead and go into the fourth quarter now. Same possession, and it's going to be Hudson running for 5 yards on the scramble.
Yeah, we may have had a shot at the fullback right there in the flat that might have provided us. You know, they did not. If we didn't score, they get inside the 5-yard line. Josh felt like he couldn't get the ball off to him. We took a shot to fade route to Justin Morgan right there. It was well defended. A good ball. Gave Justin a chance, but well defended. And I believe that brought up 4th down. And, you know, we elected to put Pat Smith out there to make sure we got on the scoreboard. Great job, again, by Mike Famagletti as snapper, Cody Reardon as a holder, and then, of course, Pat is still perfect on the year, put it right down the middle.
That's right, coaches. He would put up the first points for the Leathernecks, and they would go on to win the Iowa State Cyclones would go on to win 37-3. And so let's go ahead and take a look at the box score. Josh Hudson would finish the game 9 of 18, 73 yards. No interceptions this game. That's great for him, and that's what helped the Leathernecks win the turnover ratio. Nico Watson had 17 carries for 76 yards. Justin Morgan had 4 receptions for 32. Charles Chestnut had 2 receptions for 30. And then J.J. Raffleson led the defense with 8 tackles. And as we said, Trey Garvey with the great defensive performance, 6 tackles, and the fumble recovery. All right, Coach, we're going to go ahead and break down a couple key turnovers for the Leathernecks. All right, here it's going to be the fumble as we saw earlier, and that's Kevin Kinsel causing the fumble.
Good job by Kevin wrapping up the quarterback, getting his arms all the way around the quarterback's waist. You've got to teach people to wrap up on a tackle. Runners obviously are big, strong, and very elusive. And this quarterback right here was an outstanding running back in reality too. And then, of course, all defenders need to be running at that spot all the time. Where the ball is, we should have 11 defenders running toward that ball once it crossed line of scrimmage. Trey Garvey was there, came up with the fumble recovery.
And here we're going to take another look at McDaniel's interception. And just the receivers trying to make a play, and they're going to tip it to McDaniels, and he's going to make an outstanding catch and make an outstanding run all the way down there. Unfortunately, it's going to be a penalty to back him up, but Coach, really good job by McDaniels.
Very good, and again, great job by the defense overall for their effort throughout the night. And right there, David plucked the ball literally right out of the air before it hit the ground, and had a nice return, and it helped us set up that field goal.
And here we're going to take a look at the second interception we didn't see in the highlights, and it's going to be Luke Venegoni.
And there's a good interception, outstanding interception by Luke Venegoni. Luke plays weak outside linebacker for us. Actually, he goes back and forth. He plays at both the strong backer spot and the weak backer spot. And he's on the field a lot in our nickel situations as well. He's just an outstanding player. He played last year for us as a true freshman, and he's really improved a great deal this year as he's a sophomore.
That's all right, Coach, and we are now going to take another quick break, but stay tuned because up next we'll hear from Kieran James and Charles Chestnut, as well as preview the first Missouri Valley Conference game of the season. You're watching the Pigskin Preview.
And now, another adventure with Savings Man.
Look, honey, the neighbors just bought a big screen TV.
Hey, I just got a bonus at work. Maybe we should get one too.
Hold on there.
Savings Man.
Using your bonus to secure your future by paying down debt or saving is a better way to go.
Well, I declare you're right, Savings Man.
Stay ahead by choosing to save, and don't worry about keeping up with the Joneses.
But their name is Johnson.
For more tips and tools, visit choosetosave.org today.
For others, it may have just been a summer job. But for me, it was training. Now I'm an Air Force pararescueman, and my job is to save lives. Make the right choices today and be ready for the challenges tomorrow. This message is brought to you by the U.S. Air Force.
Welcome back to the Pigskin Preview. This week I was able to talk with Charles Chestnut and Kieran James.
The loss to Iowa State, it was definitely a true test of our faith, and also it was a time for us to show how strong our hearts were, because we went into halftime down and we had to come back out and make sure that we went just as hard on both sides of the ball, offense and defense, as we did at the beginning of the game. And even though we weren't able to come back and win the game, we still came out and we attacked them just like the score was 0-0.
In the first half, after 4 minutes, the defense started to pick up. We had some turnovers. I wish we probably would have converted on turnovers and gave us a little more boost, confidence. But we fought throughout the whole game, though.
Western Illinois has become a top choice for many football players from Bradenton, Florida.
When I did come to Western, though, there were a few guys who were here, and it started with my visit. Enoch Pressendu and Todd Spate, we went to high school together, and they were both a year older than me. And it was comforting. It made me feel at home just hanging out with the guys. And then there were even more guys from different areas of Florida also. And so we all just kind of bonded once I got here. And then when they left, I still had Kieran James, who came a year after me. And we've known each other since his freshman year of high school, my sophomore year, because I'm a year older than him. So it's kind of like they had the class of 2007, and then myself from the class of 2008, Kieran from the class of 2009. And we all just, we keep each other up during the down times, and then we enjoy the good times together just like we did back home.
Coming in as a freshman, I knew Todd Spate, Enoch Pressendu, and Charles Chestnut. These guys kind of brought me in as a freshman, kind of molded me, and really just got me used to being here and just feeling of college football. It was just great. I had kind of wanted to get away from home. That was like one of my decisions of coming out here. I didn't want to go to school too close, and them guys was just great guys on the field. I love to compete with them, and we used to always compete at high school, and I feel like I just bring competition, competitiveness that I bring here. I feel like it's going to do good for the program.
Chestnut and James's friendship on and off the field all started in high school.
We've definitely grown together. Like I said a few minutes ago, we've been playing against each other, but on the same team since 2005, when he was a freshman in high school, and we started off both on the junior varsity team. So that's where the competition began, and we were both probably 30, 40 pounds lighter than we are now. And all the way up through my senior year of high school, when I left, he was a leader on the team, and he stepped up and he played well enough to earn a scholarship here at Western, just like I did. And then once he got here, it was like high school all over again, just like the good old days, one-on-one, going against each other, fighting to get the win. So yeah, it's been a great time playing together for 7 years now. We've both helped each other grow a lot. I definitely feel like I'm going against the best when I'm working against Kieran.
Me and Chestnut, we've been playing against each other for about 3 years. He graduated in 08, I graduated in 09. We've been playing together throughout high school, and we used to always compete against each other. After school, we used to always work out. We was really work out together throughout summer and after school, and kind of build a relationship. So that's kind of why I kind of chose Western as well.
Their skill positions match up directly, and because of this have only increased their skill and fun for the game.
One-on-ones, I always try to call Charles Chestnut out because he think he got the best hands, and I like to jam and press, so we used to always compete. That's the same thing we had in high school, so I just feel like we just bring it in college and just have fun out there. For real, we just love to compete.
I remind him, I always go, I line up on the ball, I look at him and I say Southeast, because we went to Southeast High School, so I just make sure that he doesn't forget. When I get out there, you got to step it up, because it's just like the old days.
This year, James and Chestnut are the last of the Bradenton players on the team, but they have hope the tradition of Bradenton players coming to Western will continue after they leave.
I'm not sure if there are any other Bradenton recruits out there, but I'm pretty sure we have a lot of talent in our town. I know Bradenton is a big upcoming small city right now. Got a lot of guys that get recruited out there in the past years. And I'm not sure, but I would be glad to have somebody from my town come here. It's a great school. It's upcoming program.
I'm not 100% sure if our coaches are recruiting our high school right now, but I definitely do keep in touch with my old coaching staff, the head coach, receiver coach, offensive coordinator, all of them, and I'm pretty sure they're going to have me let our coaches know about some guys who need to come up here, because we have a decent team at Southeast High School, and every year we put out a decent number of Division I players. So hopefully we'll get some guys up here next year.
Over the offseason, the team voted Kieran James as one of their captains.
It's an honor. Over the years, never really pictured me being a captain. I mean, that's something. I mean, I just really just show my work on the field. You know, I lead as an example. But it's an honor to be selected as a captain. I feel like we had a lot of candidates to be selected as one, but I feel great, and it's an honor to lead this team.
Coach, Bradenton, Florida has been a good pipeline for the Leathernecks over the last few years. This year's team has Kieran James and Charles Chestnut from there.
Yes, the entire state of Florida, of course, produces a lot of Division I football players every year. Kieran Ware, our offensive coordinator and running back coach, recruits the entire state of Florida for us. And of course, he can't hit every school in the state, but he hits a lot of them and does a great job recruiting the state for us. Both of those young men, Kieran and Charles, are outstanding players for us. They're both fifth-year seniors. They both are off to a good start this fall in the first 3 ball games. Their leadership is looked upon by myself and our staff and all their teammates, and then not to mention their playing ability. They do a great job every day in practice. They prepare themselves and help their teammates prepare, and then also, you know, our outstanding players, as I mentioned, every time the lights go on, it's game time. The state of Florida has produced many outstanding players for Leathernecks. I certainly couldn't name them all. The 14 years that I've been here, one would be Travis Glassford out of the Miami area. Travis became our all-time leader rusher here. Now that was broken. That record was broken by Herb Donaldson, but Travis held that record. And in fact, Travis Glassford at one season was our leading rusher and leading receiver in the same season. Great football player. And then, of course, recently, Lito Senatus, an outstanding wide receiver for us that led us into the national playoffs a couple of years ago, is from the Miami area as well. And the list goes on. And this year, we have some true freshmen playing for us from the state of Florida.
That's right, Coach. And this Saturday, Leathernecks will host the Illinois State Redbirds for the 2012 Missouri Valley Conference opener. Coach, the Redbirds are 3-0, and for the first time in 20 years, what can you tell us about them?
Well, they have a good football team, and of course, the 3-0 indicates that. They have defeated a Division 1A school in Eastern Michigan that's in the MAC conference. They won a big game versus Eastern Illinois just this past Saturday, and in fact, their quarterback completed 43 passes in that game. So they obviously like to throw the ball. They're going to throw it a bunch here, you know, on Hanson Field this Saturday, you know, for a homecoming ball game.
All right, Coach, and as you mentioned, it's homecoming game, and that's going to produce a large crowd. How does that play an effect for when the players come and play?
Oh, well, the players love playing at Hanson Field, and one reason is the support that we receive. Our first 2 home games had a great crowd, and if anything, as you mentioned, this one will even be a little larger with it being homecoming. There'll also be a lot of Leathernecks back to watch this game. There'll be some older players that played here, you know, prior to my 14 years here. But it'll be great to see them back on campus. And then there'll be a lot of players here too that just played recently for us. And of course, our players really appreciate them showing up and cheering them on.
All right, thank you, Coach. The game is this Saturday at 3 o'clock at Hanson Field. We're going to take another quick break, but stay tuned. Up next, we'll take a look at the Missouri Valley Conference thus far.
Something's not right. My first symptoms were
constant tingling in my toes.
Double vision. They said you have multiple sclerosis.
Kind of had to get a grasp on reality.
I had to adapt and change very rapidly.
We had to learn how to drive with my hands. Yeah, that was interesting.
A symptom may cause you not to be able to do that anymore. And at one point, I wasn't able to do any of those.
Since I've been cycling, it's definitely helped my walking.
It's a fantastic opportunity to be working together with a common goal of curing MS, and sharing is the key.
I remember the moment.
I'll never forget that moment.
That moment?
It was a moment that changed my life. I'd been training with my team for months, and now we had been called up for the first time. The real deal. Wildfires were getting dangerously close to homes. At that moment, I got my first taste of just how important the Guard is to my community.
See how the Guard can be an important part of your life at NationalGuard.com.
Welcome back. Here are the scores of the Missouri Valley teams from last weekend. Youngstown beat Albany 31-24. Illinois State went to double overtime against Eastern Illinois, but hung on to win 54-51. Coach, a great matchup there, obviously.
Yeah, that was a pretty amazing ball game. Both teams threw the ball many, many times. As I mentioned, Illinois State actually completed 43 passes for well over 400 yards, and so it'll be an exciting ball game this Saturday on Hanson Field.
All right, then Indiana State beat Drake 27-10. UNI lost to Iowa 27-16. In a low-scoring game, South Dakota State beat UC Davis 12-18. Missouri State lost to Murray State 28-23. Southern Illinois got their first win 35-14 over SEMO or Southeastern Missouri, and then North Dakota State and South Dakota each had bye weeks. And now for the standings, we have two teams still unbeaten, Illinois State and Youngstown, as they are 3-0. North Dakota State is still 2-0 as they had the bye week last week, like I said. 2-1 teams are Indiana State, South Dakota State, and then Western teams, or only one team is only 1-1, and that's South Dakota. And then 1-2 teams are UNI, who have played tough Wisconsin and Iowa schools, and then Southern Illinois, who's also 1-2. And then, as I said, Missouri State still looking for that victory as they're 0-3. Next weekend's games include Northern Iowa going to Youngstown, Southern Illinois going to Missouri State, South Dakota State will play at Indiana State. South Dakota will go to Northwestern for a tough matchup. North Dakota State will play Prairie View A&M, and then, as we said, Coach, Western will play Illinois State.
And it'll be homecoming for 2012, Hanson Field, 3 p.m. this Saturday. The Leathernecks will be excited to play.
That's right. As we mentioned, it's homecoming, and now it's time for the 2-minute drill with Coach Hendrickson. And our first question that we have, Coach, is what has been the biggest inspiration for you as a coach? Well,
I could list a lot of them. I'll name a few men along the way. One would be my junior high football coach, Bob Snow, and my high school coach, Tom Stone. They are both alive and well back in my home state of Iowa, and I visit with those two off and on over as the year goes on, and I enjoyed playing football at a very young age. And really, because of those two men, the way they taught me to play, I decided that's what I would like to do. And then I was fortunate to be able to coach for Bill Curry at Georgia Tech, and then Bobby Ross at Georgia Tech, and then Hayden Fry at the University of Iowa. And I tried to be a very good listener and learn all I could, because those are three of the giants of college football, and felt like I learned a lot over the years from those three men.
All right, then after being here at Western for 14 years, what would you say was your favorite moment at Western?
Oh, there's been a lot of them. It would very likely be a couple of years ago, but it would be it'd be a close tie with a lot of outstanding games that I've been involved with a lot of great players. But our victory at Coastal Carolina, in the first round of the national playoffs a couple of years ago, it was a great feeling, a great accomplishment for that team to go on to earn a berth in the national playoffs, go on the road and pick up that first round victory.
All right, well, that's all the time we have for you this week on the Pigskin Preview. For head coach Mark Hendrickson, I'm Andrew Bacon. Thanks for watching.